My name is Jo.
Come take a ride with me, Dush.
So from our kitchen to yours, easy dishes that can be made very quickly.
In that they're completely rustic, also so pleasing, and extremely indulgent.
We hope you enjoy.
I'm going to share with you today the only chocolate cake recipe that you will ever need. It's dark, it's sinful, and it's ridiculously easy. You don't need a mixer, you don't need a blender, you don't need, well, you'll see. Just to see how easy it is, let's get started. We have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that we're gonna add 100 grams of cocoa. There's gonna be 100 grams of cocoa, 4 cups of sugar, and it's simple as just adding it all in a bowl. And I wasn't kidding, all you need is this bowl and a spoon. And you're gonna mix this up. Be a bit gentle because cocoa and flour tends to fly everywhere. And to that, we're gonna add 8 tablespoons of corn flour. And this is gonna make your cake really, really dense and rich. So there's a spoon of salt that gets this thrown in. And once that's mixed up, we are going to add 2 cups of vegetable oil. Now you need a clear oil for this, something that is tasteless. And honestly, this is almost as easy as making a box cake. It's that easy. So we just give it a mix. Just a little twirl. That's gonna save the day. So we are going to use 2 cups of whole cream. Whole whipping cream is fine. And we're gonna take the juice of 4 limes to curdle this milk and make a poor man's sour cream. So, and here's another little kitchen hack. What I do when I cut my limes is I go all the way around the lime, leaving the center intact, cut off the top and the bottom, and there you go. All your seeds nicely contained. You don't have to strain them out, you don't have to worry about it ever again, and you just put it aside. So you go through all 4 limes the same way, and chop, chop, chop. So if you don't have enough limes, go out and buy it because you're gonna need it. All right, so here we go. And you're gonna see magic happening right in front of your eyes. So there we go. First couple of squeezes, probably you see nothing except, you know, the lime sitting on top of the cream. And almost done. And so, nothing amazing so far, but now, and that goes in there as well. And you just continue mixing this. And now we add 4 tablespoons of vanilla. I know that sounds like a lot, but I tend to go very heavy with my vanilla, especially in this cake because it's a very, very deep, dark chocolate. So you want the floral notes of the vanilla to really pop so that it balances it out. Right. And actually one step I did forget is you want to keep some water to warm up. So we do this because the last thing we're going to add is a cup of warm water into this mix. Right, make sure everything is mixed up. Some of it might be still sitting at the bottom, so you want to get all that flour churned in. It's pretty thick at this stage, but we're going to keep adding ingredients. So now we have 8 whole eggs. You just break it in and keep mixing, making sure it gets incorporated. And the only trick is making sure everything is just mixed in well. And 2 more. The luck's holding up. And I know the batter looks like a milk chocolatey brown, but trust me, when it starts to bake, the color's gonna get real dark. Just mixing, and I think it's ready for our water now. And all we have to do is, well, the moment I find, oh, okay, this is a cup. I'm gonna put it in. And now we start mixing it. And you'll see the batter slowly start to change. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the grittiness that you could see is slowly starting to disappear. And that's about it. So essentially, this goes into a preheated oven at 180 degrees for about 35 minutes, maybe longer depending on the oven, because it does vary a bit depending on each model. But all we have to do now is divide it into 2 springform pans. Now, I implore you, please go and get yourself a set of these, because if you are seriously looking to get into baking, this will be a lifesaver. This will make your life so much easier. And they're technically meant, I think, for cheesecakes, but I use them for everything. So there we go. Just put in half the batter. Helps to have a spatula ready. And that's it, folks. Now it's time to just pop these babies in the oven. And in about half an hour to 40 minutes, our cakes will be ready. Okay guys, so our cakes are baking in the oven, and while that happens, like I promised you, we're gonna do a really nice classic chocolate ganache that's going to sandwich the cake as well as finish it off. So what's a ganache? It's just a simple chocolate sauce, and all you need for that is a full cup of heavy cream. If it's cooking cream, so essentially this contraption is called a bain-marie, where it has a steaming pot at the bottom with a bowl on top, and it will slowly heat our cream and chocolate. I'm gonna go ahead and add my vanilla to the cream, and as it's being warmed up, we're gonna tip this entire bowl of dark cooking chocolate. But technically it's semi-sweet. It's probably, I'm guessing, about 60%. And we're just gonna slowly melt down. Yeah, this might take a while, just be patient. You don't want to rush this, and don't be tempted to take it off the bain-marie and put it on a direct flame. After they're baked, they come down to room temperature and then put in the chiller for a while, which makes it much easier to deal with, so it's not crumbly and flaky and falling apart. Essentially what I'm gonna do is cut around it. And the beauty of this is, because of the oil that we put into the cake, it tends to come off the edges, so it doesn't stick too badly. And there you see. That's it. And same here. You actually don't even need to do it with this batter, but I'm just not risking it. Yep, there we go. And we have 2 beautiful cakes. As you can see, it's a lot darker than the batter that went in. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually sit down, because this makes this step a lot easier. And I'm gonna attempt to cut this right through the middle. So here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna find the center between the top and the bottom of the cake, and then just make a slight incision, and then start twisting my cake around. It's just, and with each turn, and now I'm on my second, you start moving in a little bit more, using that initial line as a guide, and you should have 2 pretty decently neat halves. This is not exact. I mean, there are gadgets for doing this, but I mean, if you're not looking to spend a fortune on just things to clutter up your kitchen, just a good sharp knife does the trick. And there you go. Once you wrap your head around it, oh, it's so easy. It's just a matter of following the steps. So these are done. Now we just need for the ganache to get ready. Unfortunately, you can't go on piping hot. We will leave it just to cool just a tad bit, and then we'll just start layering this beautiful cake. So let's go check on it. guess what? Your ganache is done. And just like that, take it off the steam, rest it for just a little bit, and we're gonna get our first layer ready. So we had to be a little clever here. I mean, yes, you want your, well, I like my cakes to be a little rustic, but not too rustic. So we don't want, so these have risen a little bit, so you see a bit of a dome. I'm not gonna try and level them per se. And now here comes the fun part. I'm just gonna use my spatula and just drizzle chocolate on it and smoothen it out. And you don't want this necessarily to be really thick like it's a layer of buttercream. Just almost like a spreading butter on bread is what I would liken it to. We go on to our next layer. Okay, let's do the dome top here. That's fine. So this is our second layer. Right over the next flattest piece. Again, let's put the shiny side up. So what I'm going to do is pop it in the chiller for about 10 minutes and then we come back and neaten up our cake. So as promised, here's your easy peasy dark chocolate cake that's going to be suitable for any occasion really. So we can cut it up now, or actually, you might be wondering what this is. We have a little trick up our sleeve that's going to take this up another notch, and that is we're going to set this cake on fire. There you have it, your flaming chocolate cake. We're done with the flame. We have a pool of arak at the base of our cake now, nice and warm. Our chocolate has got nice and melty after being in the chiller for so long. The flame has got it to this point, and what we are going to do now is the most important part of any cooking process, is to taste what we made. And here is our arak drenched dark chocolate flaming cake to try out what we made. Definitely want to try making this at home.
Hi everyone, welcome to Homemade. I'm Jo. And today we're going to try out another recipe, something a little interesting, but also very easy. So I'm calling this a bacon and egg bread bowl. There are a few more elements to it. I'll take you through as we go along. So what I've used here is a loaf of whole wheat bread. By all means, you can use a loaf of white bread as well. This is just my way of justifying the cheese and the bacon that's going to it. Brown bread is better. Okay? So here goes. I'm just going to in my pan, I have just 1 tablespoon of sunflower oil. Switch my pan on, and I'm just going to fry my bacon, and then we'll get on to the bread while that fries. You don't need a lot of oil because the bacon itself will produce oil, so just a tiny bit. So just have an eye on that. While that fries, let's cut up our bread. Okay. So what we need to do is grab your bread knife, hold on to your bread, and just run your hand and run the knife right along the edge. Don't cut it all the way in, just halfway. Don't let go until you get to the other corner. Just hold on tight from the center. Right. So now what you have is this hollow center. You can easily remove this with your hands. Watch your bacon. Don't let it burn. Okay. Just remove a little more of the filling of the bread so that you can fill it with all these gorgeous things that you have here. Okay. You can use this for something, so don't throw it away. I'm just going to knock that off because that's about done. This is what you should be left with. A hollow ball. To this, I'm going to, okay, let me just remove this so that it won't go. So I'm using chicken ham, just 2 slices, to line the bottom of this bowl. I have here some grated cheddar, which I will add. Just about 1/4 cup would do. To that, add your freshly cooked bacon. However much or little as you want. Okay. So then we need something to bind this all together. Before that, I'm going to add one of my favorite ingredients, a little bit of chopped garlic. Just give it some extra flavor. Alright. Then I have 3 eggs here that I'm going to crack into a separate bowl. Little bit of salt, and I'm adding a little bit of chili powder to this. It's up to you whether you want to add it or leave it out. Grab a fork, beat your egg up, and just very gently pour it into your hollow dish, your dish of bread. Here I have some shredded mozzarella cheese that will just melt over the bread. Just 1/2 cup would do. Just cover your bread. If by chance you don't want to buy 2 cheeses, since there is already cheddar in this, you can use the rest of the cheddar to top this off as well. And there you have your bread bowl. So this needs to go in a hot oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. If you want your egg not so well cooked, you can cover it with a foil after about 10 minutes, and that will give you a nice nice juicy inside. So our bread has been in the oven for about 16 to 18 minutes. This is what it looks like. Look how beautifully the mozzarella has melted. It's firm, nothing is leaking. So I'm just going to place this on a serving dish. And it's ready to serve. This is what your finished bread bowl will look like. Let's cut into it and see how it is. You can easily swap out this bacon for chicken bacon, turkey ham, or that will do. See how that looks. You can have a taste. I hope you enjoyed that. This is very easy. I hope you tried it at home. I'm sure your kids will love this too. Leave out the chili powder if you don't want to add extra heat to it, but it isn't overpowering. So do give it a try. We'll see you next time on Home.